my son. Think I ain't spoke to my son. Think I ain't told my son, his mama, and his grandmama, his ass going to prison. If you goddamn keep it up, his ass going to prison.
Man, this whole King Harris situation reads like a prophecy come true. And the kind of prophecy you pray never hits home. For years, T.I. been on camera in IG videos everywhere, warning his son to cut the chaos before it ate his whole future. He kept saying the same thing: slow down, stop proving the world right, stop stacking reckless moments like trophies. Now, we're staring at the very thing Tip warned about. A talk on the street says a judge could hand King a 5-year sentence. 5 years. The same number T.I. rattled off in 2022 like it was a deadline on a calendar.
You want to talk about some other like this being serious? Just being serious. No, I'm being real. You lying. You lying. You up here flagging. You're cat.
Nobody should be acting shocked. If you've been scrolling King's timeline, the red flags were everywhere. Wild driving flexes, the Waffle House fight that went viral, music videos with open heat, and the general don't care energy that turns followers into evidence. The arrest footage from 2024 reads like a montage of every wrong move combined. Almost hitting a cop car, a gun visible at his hip, the smell of weed, and a 2022 warrant that had been sitting like an unpaid bill waiting to hit him. When it finally caught up, it did so all at once.
Don't be in this. Wait till I come back in the month late night, and then it's just you, and I slap you up. Yeah. You trying to act off, son? We're not all through this. Oh, like this in front of all your people. Tell your mama I said Happy Mother's Day, and then Karen in my face and shit. Like what?
Let's walk that night back like a movie, not to glorify it, but to understand how you go from living big to possibly losing 5 years of your life. It starts at a gas station. King pulls out his BMW in a way that screams bad timing. He almost collides with a cop car. The officers step out. The scene instantly goes from flex to we need to check this out. They smell weed. They see the gun. They run the name. The warrant lights up the screen, open case from 2022. Traffic infractions, driving on a suspended license, maybe a DUI, plus the classic you didn't show that turns a minor into a real problem. Suddenly, it's not just a traffic stop, it's an arrest. Badge Chronicles and Vlad TV later leaked nearly 30 minutes of the interaction, and watching it back is wild because it's so ordinary, and then so not. There's no dramatic screaming, no Hollywood fight. King is irritated like a kid who knows he did wrong but still thinks there's a way to talk his way out of it. The officers do their job, take the gun off his hip, cuff him, pat him down, put him in the back of the cruiser. The camera catches the routine lines that make the clip feel painfully real. Officer said, place your hands behind your back. Officer said, right now you're just being detained. You're not under arrest. Officer said, we're just gonna look at the information, make sure it's valid.
Stand by right here for me. 32, I'm 10x10, 1 to 10. Spread your legs slightly. I just need to pat you down.
Those little offhand lines land heavy in the video because they're the calm before the paperwork. 1 minute you're watching a kid flexing on social, the next he's in a cell waiting for everything to spin out. They moved him from the county lockup to a place called Pickens once the warrant got recalled. But that image of King sitting in a booking cell, phone offline, followers watching, stuck in the timeline. Now layer the timing on top of everything else. Weeks after the arrest, King becomes a father. He's posting newborn pics, releasing a track called Dear Son, and acting like fatherhood is the reset he needed. It's tragic because the visuals don't match the reality. Public dad vibes on one feed, court dates, and possible prison time in the court docket. That tension, being a new father on camera while the law is ready to take your freedom, is the kind of modern heartbreak nobody wants to watch, but everyone does. And remember T.I.'s warning from 2022, because now it looks like a sermon that aged like milk. T.I. said, my son, think I ain't spoke to my son, think I ain't told my son his mama and his grandmama his ass going to prison. If he goddamn keep that up, his ass going to prison, ain't no way around it. Can't nobody stop it but him. I've already had a conversation. I've already made my peace with it because I know that energy. I was that energy.
Yes, sir.
There's one in the head.
Does your buddy have one as well? All right, just hang tight right here for me. Let me clear this. I don't want any accidental fires.
There's no safety. You gotta take.
There's no safety.
You take
okay.
Out of it.
Well, I'm not gonna mess around with that too much. Let me just set this down right here. Can you step out for me? Yes, sir. Place your hands behind your back for me. All right, right now you're just being detained. You're not under arrest.
You sure?
I'm gonna be at the church. All right, I appreciate you being full, man. We're just gonna take a look at this information, make sure it's valid.
I ain't sure this.
Just take a step to the side for me.
That clip, where Tip looks into the camera and lays out the trajectory, has recirculated like scripture. People started tweeting and posting "I told you so" takes, and a portion of the internet sat back, watching the prophecy unfold in real time. Critics don't always realize this is traumatic for a family, though. They see the cold math: repeat reckless behavior plus legal backlog equals worst-case scenario. But for Tip, that video wasn't a flex of prediction. It was a plea. He lived that life. He knows where it leads. Now that the law is lining up, the plea feels devastatingly prophetic. Let's slow down and consider how a 2022 warrant ends up doing real damage in 2024. Warrants aren't mystical. They're the legal world's version of "you didn't show up, so we assume you ain't want to handle this." It's petty until it's not. In King's case, the warrants were tied to moving violations, possible DUI, driving while suspended. Small things pile up, you miss a court date, then the state issues a warrant, then you keep living, and the warrant is like a shadow. You can ignore it until it's the first thing officers get on their console during a routine check. And if you've been flashing guns and acting like you're invincible, the officers will see a different picture than the one filtered for fans. The leaked footage did him no favors. We watched the entire thing and the vibe is clear. King wasn't violent or explosive, but he wasn't empathetic or humble either. He wasn't playing the poor kid got ran into some bad luck character. He looks like someone who understood the pressure but didn't change behavior patterns. And courts, real-life courts, rarely operate on optics. They care about record, history, and whether a person appears likely to reoffend. Flashy videos don't help in the judge's chamber. The public reaction has been a mix of schadenfreude and sadness. Some are gleeful. Tip said it, now it's happening. Others are reflective, using King's fall to talk about systemic traps and the ways fame entangles kids of celebrities with too many mirrors and not enough mentorship. Either way, the story ripples beyond one arrest. It becomes a cautionary tale about celebrity culture creating a pressure cooker where stupid decisions are amplified and punished harder. What makes it messier is how King's own social media presence undercuts any "I'm turning my life around" narrative. He posts new music, he flexes, he posts family pics, then posts the same kind of reckless content that got him into trouble in the first place. That back and forth looks like denial to the court of public opinion and like a red flag to prosecutors. When you show sympathy to the spotlight but recoil from accountability, the prosecutor's office doesn't see a man reformed. They see a risk. There's also the music industry window. Being the son of a legend can be both blessing and curse. Doors open, but the spotlight never sleeps. Young artists in that orbit can confuse visibility for stability. King's behavior, the cars, videos with weapons, viral fights, aren't just immature. They're self-sabotage broadcast live. Tip understood this and tried to intervene. That's why the 2022 warning is so heavy. It was apparent planning damage control. The irony is vicious. Every warning Tip gave got logged and reposted now as evidence that he saw it coming. Law-wise, a 5-year sentence is the kind of number that gets thrown around for combined felony counts, weapons enhancements, and repeat offender status. I'm not predicting sentences, but here's the human angle. If you don't turn your life around, the court system eventually stops treating you like a kid and starts treating you like a pattern. That's what Tip feared. That's what every parent watching them feared. King could still plead down. He could show remorse. He could go to rehab, community service, whatever program signals the judge that he's serious about stepping off the cliff.
Son, think I ain't spoke to my son? Think I ain't told my son, his mama, and his grandmama, his ass going to prison. If you goddamn keep that shit up, his ass going to prison. Ain't no way around it. Ain't nothing I'm gonna be able to do about it. Can't nobody stop it but him. You know what I mean? I've already had that conversation. I've already made my peace with it. Because I know that energy. I was that energy. I know exactly how it's going to turn out.
But the clock ticks, and social media timelines don't forgive easily. Meanwhile, the soundtrack of the whole saga, the new song Dear Son, lands bittersweet. On the record, he's aware of legacy. In reality, it looks like hindsight set to melody. He had his shot to flip from being the cautionary headline to being the comeback. Fame gives you endless retakes on camera, but only a finite number of second chances with law and with time. Once court calendars and sentencing guidelines get involved, retakes don't matter as much. In the end, the public waits for two things: a legal outcome and a human pivot. If King gets the 5 years Tip warned about, the internet will clap and the family will have to live with the cost of a prophecy realized in the worst possible way. If he avoids the full sentence through good lawyers, plea deals, or actual demonstrable change, the narrative shifts to redemption or to how close we came. But whatever happens, Tip's 2022 clip will remain the ghost in the footage. A father who watched his son, spoke plainly, and then had to watch life catch up to the warning. And that's the cruel, unavoidable part of this saga. Fame gives you stage lights, and consequences give you courtroom benches. King Harris knows now what so many have only learned too late. When you keep choosing headlines over hearings, the headline eventually becomes the hearing. The thing about King Harris is that nothing about his current situation feels shocking. It feels inevitable. Like watching a movie you already know the ending to, but still hoping maybe this time the main character makes a different choice. That's why when the arrest video started making rounds again and talk of a 5-year sentence came up, the internet had one reaction. Damn, T.I. called this years ago. And honestly, he did. He saw the energy, recognized the same pattern he once lived through, and he told the world his son was headed straight for prison if he didn't slow down. Some folks laughed, some folks dragged T.I., but others felt bad for him, because imagine sitting back and watching your worst fear, your biggest warning, unfold in real time. You tried to stop it. You said the words. You prayed your son would listen, and he didn't, and now here we are. And speaking of King not listening, we can't even talk about this spiral without rewinding back to one of the first times people side-eyed him heavy, the infamous Waffle House meltdown of 2022. That was the day folks stopped seeing him as just T.I.'s son who's trying to rap and started whispering, "Oh yeah, he's headed down a bad road." The video is burned into the internet's memory. King Harris standing in Waffle House, red in the face, voice raised, going back and forth with the staff like he owned the building. It wasn't a flex. It wasn't tough. It was embarrassing. He was trying so hard to project dominance, but the vibe came off entitled, childish, and completely out of control. The footage spread fast. Instagram blogs, Twitter feeds, TikTok commentary. And suddenly King wasn't just rapping. He was trending for all the wrong reasons. King Harris said during that blow up, "Hey, I can talk how the fucks I want to, wherever I'm at. I'm on live. Stop talking to me. This ain't your restaurant. Everything you make, I can pull out my pocket right now. I ain't tripping on you. Get the hell out my face." Asterisk. The staff tried to de-escalate. One person off camera even begged, "Stop talking to him, please." But King kept at it. He asked the employee's name, then dropped one of the lines that made everybody watching cringe. King Harris said, "My name, King, you know it, and your mama know it. Tell your mama Happy Mother's Day." At that point, the energy was pure chaos. You had a teenager trying to flex like a grown gangster, screaming in a Waffle House on Instagram Live, while strangers ate their pancakes in the background. The internet lit him up. Even T.I. couldn't defend it. He went live afterward and made it clear. He was perplexed, genuinely confused why his son even thought arguing with a short-order cook was worth his time. T.I. said, "Why you even stop what you doing? Just to argue with somebody behind a Waffle House counter? I don't get it. I don't get why you felt the need to match that energy at all." That's when it became clear. King wasn't just making mistakes, he was choosing them. And his dad couldn't always cover, but the Waffle House wasn't the only red flag. Not long after, King doubled down on the street image in his music. Instead of focusing on bars, he filled videos with guns, flashing weapons like props in a trap movie. That's when both T.I. and Boosie had to step in. As fathers, not rappers, not OGs, but dads who saw their kids sprinting toward a wall. The viral clip shows it all. King and Boosie's son, Tootie Raw, standing in a music video shoot, guns everywhere, trying to look hard. Then T.I. and Boosie walk in, and suddenly it's no longer a video set, it's a lecture. T.I. said, "Why y'all even toting guns when you got girls right here? Y'all supposed to be showing love. What kind of parent gonna support their kids in some real criminal-looking lifestyle? I ain't supporting that. If police pull up and say, 'Hey, who do you belong to? Who raised you?' and y'all standing around with guns and drugs, that's a felony, that's prison time." Boosie backed him up, doubling down with his own warning. Boosie said, "Treat mine like you treat yours. Why you always gotta have so much? Why you gotta look like this? That ain't it." Fans actually clapped for both dads after that video hit the blogs. It was refreshing to see them call their sons out in real time instead of just letting them crash. People said it was real parenting, not enabling. But even then, you could tell King wasn't absorbing the lesson. He nodded. He listened. But his eyes said it all. He heard the words, but he didn't feel the weight. And while everyone was still debating the guns, King's personal life started adding more layers of drama. That's when the big nah-nah situation hit the internet. The rumors swirled instantly. King's baby mama was way older than him. The age gap had people talking nonstop. Some swore she was just there for the money, a groupie trying to lock down a check. Others speculated she was clout chasing, trying to tie herself to the Harris family name. But King, he didn't care. He leaned all the way in. He posted her, bragged about her, and even threw her a full baby shower like he was doubling down on the relationship. Fans roasted, but King didn't flinch. Then came November 2024. His son was born, and King suddenly had a whole new identity. Father. He couldn't stop posting. He was on Instagram Live, voice cracking between pride and exhaustion, telling fans how his newborn had him up every night. King Harris said, "A lot of people hit me up like, hey, King, I know you tired. You ain't getting no sleep. And the truth be told, before this little one, I ain't been getting no sleep. I just been outside, working, lifestyle, just lifing. But now I'm damn sure not getting no sleep. He up every morning doing his little concert with me, walking around the house. He even dropped a track called Dear Son, captioning his post. November 5th, 8:09 a.m. Welcome King Jr., time to take over." For a second, fans thought maybe this was it. Maybe fatherhood was the humbling moment. Maybe this would be the thing that pulled him back from the edge. But the timing couldn't have been worse, because while King was holding his newborn, posting proud dad content, that arrest video from October was circulating. The one where he nearly crashed into a cop car, got caught with a gun on his hip, and the old 2022 warrant finally caught up. He was trending, not as a rapper, not as a father, but as a defendant. The internet couldn't stop pointing out the irony. For years, fans had been saying his reckless behavior would catch up. And here it was, the prophecy fulfilled. And that's the saddest part, because if the judge really hits him with 5 years, it won't just be another headline. It'll be the moment T.I.'s warning turns into reality. And if you've ever seen T.I. and King together, especially on their podcast, you know the bond runs deep. That's why it'll cut so much harder. Their back and forth clips are legendary. T.I. clowning King for not knowing Tupac and Juice. King firing back with teenage bravado, both laughing through it. T.I. said, "Man, get out. How you gonna embarrass me like this? You thought that was somebody else on the screen? It said Tupac Shakur right there." King said, "I ain't see that. I thought it was just some dude." Moments like that remind you, underneath the headlines, this is a father and son. One trying to guide, the other trying to prove he doesn't need guiding. And now the same system that nearly swallowed T.I. decades ago is circling his child. The internet has been relentless. Some drag T.I. saying he failed as a father. They claim all the money and fame in the world couldn't keep his son from spiraling. If King does get sentenced, those voices will get louder, painting T.I. as the dad who knew better but couldn't stop history from repeating. But T.I. has always been clear about one thing. Love doesn't stop when things get messy. He'll be disappointed, sure. He'll lecture. He'll shake his head. But he'll also be the first one standing beside King in that courtroom, suit pressed, ready to support. T.I. said once on his podcast, "You gotta woo-saw yourself outside of public opinion, because I tell you what, I got the greatest, most extensive family photo album. I can go back to when King was Eris's age. I can go back to when Major was my granddaughter's age. That's the blessing. And no matter what, I'ma love him through it." And as the internet debates, the reactions show the split. Some clowning, some impressed, some hoping. One fan wrote, "King enjoying every minute knowing he might go viral. He knows he's being recorded. I'm glad he was respectful." Another typed, "That man finally got his street cred. He's been telling y'all he outside." Others, softer voices posted, "He gonna be fine. He's been doing good since his son was born. I'm wishing him blessings." And maybe that's the truth. Maybe fatherhood really will ground him. Maybe prison is part of the lesson. Or maybe this is just another chapter in a cycle everyone saw coming. Either way, one thing is clear. This isn't just King Harris wilding out for headlines anymore. This is real. Real consequences, real time at stake, real heartbreak for a father watching history repeat. If that 5-year sentence becomes official, King's story won't be another viral clip. It'll be a life lesson, stamped in shackles, written in courtrooms, carried for years to come.